Shri Ram Krishna, Shri Ram Krishna, Shri Ram Krishna, Namo Namaha. Dhyayet Ramyang Sarada Deving Shri Ram Krishna Bhiratmakam Dhanyo Bhavit Jagati Tale Punyavanscha Asanshayam Ram Krishna Parabrahma Nityah Purnah Sanatanah Iti Jnanam Samashritya Mukta Jnanam Labhet Dhruvam. Shri Ram Krishna, Ram Krishna, Ram Krishna, Namo Namaha. Aharnisham Smarit Yastu Ramakrishnam Abhishtadayakam Adhivyadhi Vimuktah San Sada Sukham Kalam Nayet Sarvadeva Devi Mayaha Shri Ramakrishnaha Swarupataha Jayalabho Bhavitasya Yasyeti Rasanopari. Shri Ram Krishna, Ram Krishna, Ram Krishna, Namo Namaha.
Pranam Maharaj, we are starting the program today, and myself, I'm Showman. I'll be moderating the program today, and at the end of the those who are joining in YouTube, please send in your comments and chats. I'll convey that to those to Maharaj during the end of the program. And now I hand over to Sri Ranjit Das, President of Vedanta Society of New Jersey, to introduce Maharaj. Thank you.
Thanks, Showman. Welcome to all of you to this Vedanta Society of New Jersey presentation of Swami Sarvapriyananda. Thanks for joining and thanks for your support. Very special thanks to Showman, Paramita and the team for organizing this event. This will definitely help us all to keep in good spirits as we all are going through this extraordinarily difficult time dealing with COVID-19 global pandemic. You all know Swami Sarvapriyananda. I don't have to say much to introduce. He is the minister and spiritual leader of the Vedanta Society of New York. Currently, Swamiji is taking a year off from Vedanta Society of New York to participate in a fellowship program at the Harvard University. He is inaugural fellow for 2019-20 at the Harvard Divinity School, which is a great honor and recognition of his outstanding knowledge of the world religions and knowledge of Vedanta and Hindu philosophy in particular. It is always exciting to hear Swami Sarvapriyananda and his deeply absorbing and spiritually inspiring and motivating lectures. This evening, the topic of his talk will be 4 Ways to Peace. So let us all welcome Swami Sarvapriyananda Maharaj. Pranam Maharaj, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. I offer my thanks to the organizers in the Vedanta Society of New Jersey and for inviting me and for organizing this program, which is very relevant in the present circumstances. I've been asked to speak on 4 ways to peace. So at the beginning of the talk, I'll start with a peace chant. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. I remember many years ago, I was in Belur Math, and I was talking to this very young, very nice brahmachari who had come to become a monk, a very highly qualified young man. So one day he was sitting there with a rather morose expression on his face. And I asked, what's wrong? Why do you look unhappy? What do you want? And he said, Shanti Chai, I want peace. And immediately I recalled what Swami Vivekananda had said. I said, don't ask for peace, ask for strength. In this samsara, if you look for peace, I will find peace in this way, with this person, with this amount of money, with this much security. You'll never find peace. Samsara will chase us. Swami Vivekananda said, look for strength. Always pray for strength. Strength is the medicine necessary for the world's evils. Swami Vivekananda said that the great message coming from the Upanishads is this one word, fearlessness. Fear is the source of all misery. It is the source of all suffering. It is the source of all evil. Swami Vivekananda says. So how do we get this strength? How do we get this fearlessness from spirituality? This is the topic for this evening. I'll speak for maybe 40-45 minutes, and then we can have some time for question, answers, and discussions. One thing necessary is our actions in day-to-day life. At the most basic level, on a daily level, are our actions moral and ethical? This movement from adharma to dharma, that if there is any action, anything that I am doing in my life or I have done in my life, which my own conscience says it is not good, it is sinful, it is harmful for others, then it is something that I need to stop. That is the foundation of spirituality. One can be moral, one can be a good person without being spiritual, but one cannot be a spiritual person without being a good person first. Swami Ashokananda used to say to young men who wanted to become monks, before you become a sannyasi, before you become a monk, be a gentleman first. So that moral grounding, that moral foundation, that is first of all necessary in our external life. So from dharmic life to dharmic life, from immoral life to moral life. If there is something that I have done in my past, simply enough to recognize it and pray to the Lord sincerely that I will not do it again. I will stop doing these wrong things, and please forgive me. That is enough. To make a fresh beginning, that is good enough. So a moral foundation to life. That is the first condition, precondition of peace, of getting peace. Now, more advanced. From karma to karma yoga. You see, all the actions that we do in life are usually, we do it with the idea, I am doing it for myself. My education, my job, my earnings, my seeking status, promotion, name and fame, for myself, or at the most for my immediate family. So this is me and mine, working for me and myself. We do this. Why do we do this? Because it seems obvious. If I do this, I will be happy. But after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years doing this, are we happy? Have we found peace? Have we found strength and fearlessness? No. We are more afraid, more insecure. One gentleman told me, Swamiji, in this country, we always feel we need to earn a little more. But otherwise, in old age, will it be enough? The money that I have got, moment stock market takes downturn, then $100,000 of my hard-earned savings have gone in 2 minutes. So we are always insecure. When we seek security in this world, the answer is that we never find security in the world. What Karma Yoga says, that security is not found in the world outside. In the impermanent, transient world, anitya samsara, there is no chance of security. It is continuously changing. So is there no security in life? No, there is. There is something eternal. We call it Bhagavan, God, Brahman, whatever we call it, our own Atman. And with that, we have an eternal relationship. With the non-eternal world, the Atma, the self, can have no relationship. This is an equation. The eternal and the non-eternal cannot have a relationship. That which is unchanging and that which is continuously changing, they cannot have a relationship. So, I, the eternal self, what relationship do I have with this non-eternal, ever-changing world? None. I, the eternal self, what relationship do I have with this ever-changing body? None, actually. And yet, though I have no relationship with this body, though I have no relationship with this samsara, I seem to have a relationship. It seems to be my body. I am this body. And these are my people. This is my property. And I'm working for myself. So this is what Vedanta calls an error. It's based on false presuppositions. And no wonder it gives sorrow. Though we think in this way, by working for myself, by accumulating wealth, honor, people around me, I will be happy. It seems to give a false sense of security. Ultimately, no security, no happiness here. I like that the great philosopher Wittgenstein in the 20th century, he made a very perceptive comment about religion. He said, religion is the search for absolute security. It is possible. But it is possible in the Atman, in God, not in the ever-changing world. So our activities have to be changed into spiritual activity, spiritual action. If we want peace in this world, I'm reminded of the Imitation of Christ, a book, a Christian book, which Swami Vivekananda loved very much. He even translated a bit of it into Bengali called Ishanukaran. Now there, they have it's like the author is imagining that that Jesus Christ is speaking to the devotee. So if you want peace, my son, do these 4 things. If you want peace, my son, do these 4 things. All of them are related to the way we live in this world. What are the 4 things? Always seek to have less rather than more. Always seek to have less rather than more. Second, always seek to be last rather than first. Third, always seek to do the will of another rather than your own will. And last, in all things, look for and see and understand and accept the will of God. So 4 things. And we do exactly the opposite. That's why we don't have peace. Always seek to have less rather than more. This is just the opposite of the motto of this country, of United States of America. Always seek to have more. So the idea is the more we have, the more happiness we will have. But that has never been so. Throughout history, the richest of people, the most powerful of kings and emperors, the more uncertain they were, the more unhappy they were. Possession does not, more possession does not equal more security. More possessions does not equal more satisfaction. For the first time when I came to United States, I saw big storage houses. So what are these? People have so many things in their house, it overflows. Then they put it in garage till there is no space for car. Then it overflows. And then they have to hire storage space. What to do there? To put your stuff, your junk there. So storage is required because more and more we're accumulating. Are we accumulating peace? Are we accumulating strength, fearlessness, happiness? No. But the opposite. Always seek to have less rather than more. Now more and more people are understanding here itself that a simple lifestyle, minimized lifestyle is actually a better lifestyle. Swami Vivekananda said, the West is trying to show how much a man can accumulate, and India has tried to show how little a man can live on. I am reminded of the story of a monk in the Himalayas who had nothing, just one begging bowl, and one day that also broke. He asked a devotee who is to come to Gangotri once every 15 days. He said, can you get a new begging bowl for me? So this gentleman said, yes, I will go down to Uttarkashi, and but I will come back after 2 weeks. So this monk said, all right, I will manage. 2 weeks later, the gentleman came with a shiny new begging bowl for the monk. And the monk said, Jarurat nahi, not necessary. What happened, Mahatma ji? You wanted the begging bowl, so why is it not necessary? He said, in the last 2 weeks, I have been going to beg for my food, and what I get in my 2 folded hands, that is enough for me. Pani dvayam, that means 2 folded hands. That is enough for me. So I decided I don't need a begging bowl. So the story is, of course, a little extreme. Not that we have to be like that, but the idea is we can actually live on much less than we are used to. I remember once I was in Gangotri sitting with a monk, an old Swami, who lived there for 40 years. Some visitors were there. 2 ladies, from their dress and appearance, it seemed Indian ladies, they seemed from very rich family. And they were asking questions in Hindi to that Swami. How is it that you live like this? For us, in the morning, if I don't get bed tea, I will feel that I'm being tortured or something, that I cannot, I'm suffering. How can you live like this in the cold winters in this little hut on top of a mountain? The Swami's answer was very simple. He said, it is nothing miraculous. It's just a question of habit, just a question of practice. Little bit of practice and habit, we can get used to it. Always seek to have less rather than more. Then you will have peace. Next one is even more difficult. That always seek to be last rather than first. All the time. Parents, especially Asian parents, Indian parents, are teaching children, be first in everything. It's a good teaching for children and young people. They have to work hard and to develop their character and succeed in the world. But maturity is, you must stop running the rat race. Somebody jokingly said that if you win the rat race, you're still a rat. So this always seek to be last rather than first does not mean that you'll seek to be a loser or a failure. It is that in matters of enjoyment, in matters of taking credit, for example, let others get it. Who can say this? A person who is very secure, a person who is very strong, very confident and calm, not grasping at things outside. Such a person can calmly let other people take the credit, other people take the last piece of the pie. When children come home hungry from school and only one piece of cake is left, does the mother think, I will eat that piece of cake before the children come home because then otherwise I will not get the cake? No, she will be happy if she does not get the cake, but the children eat the cake. Similarly, a mature person, a strong person will always be happy if he or she can give things to others. It is not a little bit of delicacy of food, little praise, little credit. The more you give to others. I heard one person said that our boss would always say, if there is a problem, if there is failure, come to me, I will take the blame. When it is successful, you take the credit. So that is a leader. This takes a lot of peace within oneself, not wanting things from outside. So always seek to be last rather than first, in that sense. Then even more difficult than this, always seek to do the will of another rather than your own will. So in many cases, when there are quarrels and differences of opinion, in Hindi there is a saying, 19-20. The difference is only very little. As long as it is not a question of moral and immoral, right and wrong. If it's a question, where will we take our vacation next time? This place or that place? Hawaii or Fiji? Let the others decide. Both are all right by you. It should not be a matter of a quarrel. This model of car to buy or that model of car to buy. You may have a strong opinion on it, but others also have an opinion. Let it be. So as long as it is not a matter of principle, in most cases, you will see quarrels, dislikes are mostly differences of opinion. In those cases, it's much better to do the will of another rather than your own will. Especially when we are given instructions by guru, by spiritual guide, it is much better to do as instructed by the guru rather than my own ideas trying to execute them. And most important of all, the fourth one, in all things in life, whatever happens in life from now onwards, know that it happens by the will of God, good and bad, and accept it peacefully. Deal with the situation. If it's a bad situation, coronavirus, we will try to maintain social distancing and wash our hands and take a patient to the hospital. All these things we will do, but accept it as the will of God. It is the will of God. Even if it's bad, it's still the will of God. We have no idea. We have no control over this. This samsara belongs to God, not to us. Now our actions, karma becomes karma yoga when I do the action not for myself, but for the welfare of others. It could be in the community, it could be the society, the company I work with, or just the family I live with, for the welfare of others, not my own self-interest. I work for others. I don't need to work for myself. This body belongs to samsara. I belong to God. My relationship is with God, not with this body. The instruments, the money, the upakaran, they say, the things by which we do work, the car by which I drive, the computer by which I do my work, the money which I use for the work, all of this belongs to samsara, not to me. So that which belongs to samsara, give it to the service of samsara. Why divert it towards myself? My relationship is with God. Do not work for oneself. Work for the welfare of others. Do not have a sense of attachment that this work I will do. This person only I will like. That sense of attachment, asakti, that should not be there. And do not have a sense of ownership also. This desire and attachment and a sense of ownership, they go together. So the principle is, I will not work for myself. I will not want anything for myself. And I will not say anything belongs to me. Mentally. Externally, you must live the life. Sannyasi must live like sannyasi, householder must live like householder. Fine. You must file your property taxes and pay. Don't say that it does not belong to me, I will not pay taxes. No. External world must go on the way it goes on. But internally, karma becomes karma yoga, a very powerful instrument for peace when I am not doing anything for myself. I do not want anything for myself. And I do not even mentally own anything. This is mine. These people are mine. This property is mine. Even this body is mine. No. Everything belongs to samsara, and samsara belongs to Bhagavan, not to me. If I have this attitude, immediate result is peace. I used to think when I joined the order, how do these monks, they do so much work. See, I've seen monks who are doing the work of 5 people, morning till evening, running hostels, schools, hospitals. The other paid staff members in the hospitals or schools, they don't do so much work. Imagine, here is this one person who does not own anything, who has no right over anything in the ashram, in the school or hospital or whatever, not getting 1 paisa from it. Yes, we're getting this cloth and getting 2 meals a day, that we will get anyway, even without doing any of the work. And yet this monk is doing 5 times the work of another person. Why? Because the person is not doing, the monk is not doing work for himself, not doing work with the feeling that I want something out of it, also with no feeling of possession. Whichever ashram we are in, I say jokingly, you may have 1 house or 2 houses. A rich person will have 3 houses in 3 countries. I have got 180 houses in all continents of the world, except maybe Antarctica. Every center of Ramakrishna Mission is my house. But the difference is, I do not own a single brick of any of these houses. They are not mine. It all belongs to the Lord. So in this way, those who work, they can actually do much more work. And they are not affected. That stress and strain of the work is not there. I've seen they can remain calm. They would begin the day with the calmness of meditation and end the day with calmly. I did not understand it earlier. One day, I remember I was speaking to a monk in the Ramakrishna Mission Deoghar school. I was saying that this work in the school, teaching the children is all right, but spiritual life, the real thing is in the temple, I have to sit, do puja, meditation, bhajan. That makes my mind calm. This monk I was talking to, he's sannyasi, much senior to me. He said, "You are saying that to me, Volcho. I find when I'm writing a letter, sitting in the office and writing a letter as part of my work, that calms my mind. I'm writing a letter, offering it mentally to Sri Ramakrishna. Tatei amar mon shanto hoy." I was thinking, is that possible or is just saying it? But later I realized it is possible. All the work can be seen as a worship of God. If you worship God after puja, when you do puja with all your heart, at the end of it, one will feel sattvic, one will feel calm and peaceful. Similarly, if the work is converted into puja, that all this I am doing as a worship of the Lord, then mind will feel calm and peaceful. Karma becomes karma yoga. This is a very powerful way of getting peace. I'm still on the first 4 ways I said to peace. This is the first one. Karma becomes karma yoga. A couple of points here. Karma yoga is done entirely. It is our own benefit. People think the person is, when you do karma yoga, you're actually doing a lot of work for society and people praise you for it. Oh, how unselfishly this person is, teaching poor children, taking care of patients for free, and so on and so forth. Remember, in karma yoga, we help ourselves. Swami Vivekananda made it very clear. You are not helping the world. You are actually helping yourself. All these monks, all the other great, I've seen great karma yogis were not monks, but you are doing work for the welfare of others. None of them will ever say that I am making a big sacrifice. Not at all. I am the biggest beneficiary. I feel a great peace and happiness. So this is one thing. It's not that by becoming a karma yogi, one is doing a lot of sacrifice. Many people feel scared. Oh, I can't do so much sacrifice. Not sacrifice at all. It's a much better life. Second, it does not mean that you will have to now look, all right, Swamiji has told me that I have to do karma yoga now for peace. Now I have to look where to do karma yoga. Should I change my work from, from General Motors or Hyundai company I was working? Now I shall work for United Nations for peace of the world. No, you don't have to make a change outside. Whatever one's circumstances, where one is, with whomever you are with, it could be in the company, it could be in a school or college, it could be at home with wife and children and grandchildren, wherever you are, or alone. A person may be alone in a hospital, sick. Wherever you are, wherever we are, in whatever situation we are, we can convert our activities into worship of God. It does not mean that you have to look for some great cause. From now on, I shall work for prevention of global warming. You may do that. That's wonderful. But it's not necessary. That's what Arjuna was told by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. This very work, no matter how horrible it is to fight a battle, that itself can become worship of God. If that can become worship of God, then any activity that we do in this life, whatever we are doing, simply maybe making a cup of tea for somebody else in the kitchen, that also can become a place for worship. This is one way. Another way is, so this is external life. The second way is internally. Instead of thinking about the world, instead of connecting our thoughts about the world, connect the thoughts to God. Somebody said, if you want happiness right now, fall in love with God. Falling in human love, that also gives happiness, but also mixed up with a lot of unhappiness. But falling in love with God, Holy Mother said, Ma Sharada, Manushke bhalobashle baba dukkha bhave. If you fall in love with a human being as a human being, you will get sorrow from it in the end. But not that you will not love human beings. Ma Sharada loved everybody. But she says, I see Narayan in everybody. And she's seeing the Lord in everybody. One loves everybody. One is actually loving God. Love of God gives you happiness immediately. The moment we have a loving feeling towards God, even if you imagine it, you get a burst of happiness. You will immediately feel it in your heart. It gives immediate result. Naradiya Bhakti Sutra, this sutra I like very much. It says, Sarvada Sarva Bhavena Bhagavan Eva Bhajanya. Sarvada, at all times, Sarva Bhavena, in all ways, Bhagavan eva bhajaniya. Lord alone is to be worshipped. And then it adds, Nishchintitehi, without any anxiety whatsoever. So without any anxiety, at all times, in all ways, worship the Lord, worship the Lord. Like Shankaracharya says, Bhaja Govindam Mudhamati. Now, at all times, it may be difficult. We may say that I will think of God. We always hear, think of God all the time. It's very difficult. But one can think of God at particular times. So if the mind cannot be given to the Lord at all times, fix particular time. At this time in the morning, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. This is the time I will demarcate this. After 6 o'clock until 7 o'clock, I will not think of the world. I will not think of samsara. It could be even 15 minutes, 6 o'clock to 6:15. So in Belur Math, we used to get up at 3:40 a.m. in the morning. From 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, compulsory meditation was there. So at this time, I will not think of samsara, not think of anything else except my Lord. At this time, I will not go here and there. I will retreat to my corner, my puja room, my meditation asana, that much on that. So I am limiting myself in time and space. 6 o'clock, 6:30, this time only, this place only, this asana, this puja, the corner of my house where I do puja, like that. Limited like this, in this time and in this space, I shall think of only this thing, my Lord, my Krishna, my Rama, my Kali, in whichever way, my Rama Krishna, I will think of that. So we are limiting by time, space, and object. Desha, Kala, Vastu. Of course, it's not really an object, it is our innermost subject. But when you worship in a dualistic mode, you give a name and form, a divinized object. And then, so other times also, if we have got Ishta mantra, whenever you get a little time, whenever you think about God, one can repeat that mantra at all times, at all places. Think of the Lord. Read the life of avatars, Bhagavatam, read the life of Sri Ramakrishna, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and other things. Read the life of saints, all religions. Holy lives are very similar. In all religions, you will find very holy people. That is very inspiring. Lives of the bhaktas. It will give happiness and peace. So that is the way of love of God. You can easily understand I'm talking about Bhakti Yoga, as love of God. And other times also, keeping the mind on God. Somebody asks, we have to do so much work. How can I keep the mind on God all the time? Remember, it is not so much a question about the mind. Bhakti is of the heart. So the mother loves the baby, and throughout the day is doing so much work, cleaning the house, cleaning the clothes, cooking food, arranging the bed of the child, playing with the child. All throughout, so much work has to be done, and she's giving attention to everything, but the heart is with the child. So bhakti comes from the heart, not from the mind. With the mind, you can do work, but the heart should be with God. Sri Ramakrishna is to give the example of the compass needle. So the needle of the compass, if you knock it like this, it will spin around. But again, it will come back to North Pole, South Pole, the alignment, it will come back. The magnetic north and south, it will become aligned automatically. Similarly, the mind, when the world gives a knock, the mind will go around and do some work, this work, that work. But the moment it gets a little bit of peace, it will automatically should come back and rest at the feet of the Lord. It will not happen easily. It takes a long practice, long time of practice. Japa is very useful, mantra japa. Holy Mother is to say, Ma Sharada is to say, the loke wale ashanti, people keep coming and complaining, Ashanti, Ashanti, I have got no peace, no restfulness. Let them do 10,000 japa in a day. 10,000 jap karo, dekhi kothay ashanti thak. Let me see where is the ashanti. So where is the lack of restlessness in the mind? If you do a few thousand japa per day, morning and evening, restlessness will automatically go away. She used to say that Dukkho ki jani ne babu, Thakur amar hriday, Anonder ghat poshiye gechen. So Ma Sharada used to say about Sri Ramakrishna, I do not know what sorrow is, my child. She passed through so many difficult days, such hardship. She says, I don't know what sorrow is. Sri Ramakrishna has established a pitcher of bliss in my heart. In puja, you have a ghata, a pitcher. So it's full of water. Similarly, imagine a pitcher of bliss, Amriter ghat, Anandar ghat, hridayate. So that bliss is overflowing in my heart. I do not know what sorrow is. Even thought of God We must go beyond that at least twice a day. The third way to peace is meditation. All chitta vritti, movements of the mind, must cease. There must be calmness within, quietness within. At least once a day, twice a day, in deep meditation. That bhakti, that japa itself will lead to deep meditation. I like this saying. One sadhu in Uttarakhand said, "Shant man mein bhala sansar kaun dekha hai." What it means is this. We think it is because of the trouble of samsara, COVID-19, my job will be there or not, my money is lost in stock market crash, my health is poor, people are misbehaving with me. Because of the problems of samsara, I feel my mind is getting no peace. In Bengali, they say, "Sangsharer jalai moner ashanti." So, because of the troubles of samsara, I have no peace in the mind. This sadhu is saying you are making a very big mistake. In the peaceful mind, there is no samsara. Shant man mein bhala sansar kaun dekha hai. Who has seen samsara in a peaceful mind? We think samsara is disturbing me. That is why I'm so disturbed. No, it is because I am disturbed that I perceive so many problems in samsara. That same person who is very worried and restless, if for some chance he calms down, becomes quiet, listens to 2 bhajans, repeats some mantras, sits quietly, all the problems of samsara will disappear, for the time being at least. Same problem, 2 persons, you will see they react differently. Why are they reacting? Somebody gets very upset, angry, what will happen? What? Another person is calm and quiet. I have seen so many ups and downs, this also I will see what is there. Now the same problem, could be health problem, financial problem, something. Why is one person getting so upset, another person calm? That means one thing. It is not the problem as such. It is the mind. Peaceful mind, less problem. Restless mind, even tiny problem becomes huge problem. Even Milton says in Paradise Lost, he says that the mind in itself can make a heaven of hell and a hell of heaven. The mind by itself. In a hellish situation also it can create a heaven. If it is peaceful, calm, prayerful, strong, fearless, even hellish situation can create heaven. And the mind is weak, scared, fearful, full of desires, full of envy and frustration and anger. In heaven also it will create hell. We know that. So many rich people, famous people. I see 2 places, interesting places I lived. Hollywood, one interesting place, and Manhattan, second interesting place. In one place, glamour, name and fame, movie industry. Another place, money. Here it is, who is millionaire, billionaire. In Hollywood, who has got Oscar award, who has got the latest film, getting job in film industry. And here it is, who has got millions of dollars or billions of dollars. Somebody pointed to me, "Swamiji, look at that building. Every apartment there is owned by, there only billionaires live in this building." Now that is the glamour of money. One is the glamour of name and fame. Now in both cases, you see how much unhappiness. Getting all of that also, it leads to unhappiness. So peaceful mind, there will be no problem of samsara. Problem of samsara is easily tackled in a peaceful mind. Shant man mein bhala sansar kaun dekha hai. Twice a day at least. Meditation. Yogas chitta vritti nirodha. Drop the mind. Sit quietly. Don't move the body. Close the eyes in a quiet environment. Draw attention to the breath, breathing in, breathing out. Then you bring your mind to the mantra, Ishta Devata, or whichever way you do. Some may do Buddhist type of mindfulness meditation. Some may do mantra japa and dhyana. And then retreat into absolute silence, in silence of light and peace and calmness, quietness. You will realize, I am not the mind. The mind is the creator of samsara. Bandha and moksha, bondage and liberation, both are products of the mind. You yourself are the Atman. The deepest peace known to humanity is called samadhi. Yogas chitta vritti nirodha. Calmness of the mind. The calmness of the modifications of the mind is samadhi. So that is the deepest peace that has been found in all human experience. And it shows that when the mind is calm, you can see what lies beyond the mind, our real nature, consciousness. Many names are there, Atman, Purusha. In Yoga Sutras, Tada Drashtu Swarupe Avasthanam. The witness consciousness exists there in its real nature, consciousness itself. Third way of getting peace, meditation. Now the last and most deep way, I'll mention this and stop. You see, even with meditation, there is a problem. One sadhu said, if God is found in meditation only, in Hindi he said, Lo apne pyare ko samadhi ke jail khane mein band kar diya. You have trapped your beloved Lord in the jail of samadhi. In samadhi I find God. When I open my eyes, no God. Sri Ramakrishna put it even more simply. Chok band korli tini achen, chok khulle tini nahi. When I close my eyes, God is there. If I do open my eyes, is God not there? What kind of God is it? Depends on opening and closing the eyes. No. The deepest way is this person, you who are complaining of lack of peace, restlessness, anxiety, fear, you who complain about the problems of the world, problems of the body, you, the one who is practicing karma yoga, who is practicing devotion, feeling devotion to God, you who are fortunate enough to have deep meditation, experiencing deep meditation, what is this one? What are you? So this question about the experiencer, I experience a world, samsara, or after a lot of sadhana, I have a spiritual experience. But both world and spiritual experience were both for the same experiencer. Who is that experiencer? What is the nature of that experiencer? This question about who am I? When every objective thing is eliminated from my conception of myself, am I the body? No, it is an object. Just as this pen is an object. Am I the pen? No, it's an object. I am the witness of that object. Similarly, am I this body? No, it's an object. How is it an object? What is an object? It's an object to my senses. I can see it. I can even hear the rumblings in my stomach when I'm hungry. I can even feel the motion of the breath in my body. I can smell, taste, touch. The body is an object to all the five senses. How is it not an object? It's an object. Somebody will say that, no, if you, this pen, if you hit the pen, there's no problem. You are not affected. But if you hit the body, you feel affected. How can you say that you are not the body? But that affected, when you feel pain, is pain also not an object? Is pain also not an object? Think about it. Object is anything you are aware of. Anything that you experience is an object. It is not the subject. Do you experience pain? Of course. Of course we experience pain. That is our big complaint, that we are experiencing pain. If you experience pain, then you are not in pain. You are aware of the pain. The body may be in pain, correct? But you are the experiencer of the body in pain. You were the experiencer of the body without pain. You are now experiencing the body and the pain. After some time, you will experience body without the pain. You experience the absence of pain, the coming of pain, the going of pain. Are you connected with pain? Are you and pain one thing? No. Pain is an object which comes and goes, in you the awareness. Similarly, all thoughts, even such Vedantic thoughts as we are thinking now, they are also objects. They are something that you are aware of. Thoughts, ideas, even the thought, I am consciousness, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, I am of the nature of bliss, I am of the nature of consciousness, I am Shiva, I am Shiva. That's also a thought. But the one to whom this thought appears is not a thought. You are not a thought. Thoughts come to you and go. You are aware of the presence of thoughts. You are aware of the absence of thoughts. Right now, you have many thoughts. You are aware of so many thoughts. But in deep meditation, in deep sleep, you, the consciousness, are aware of the absence of thoughts. You don't even think in deep meditation or in deep sleep. You don't think that I am now watching the absence of thought, because that will be a thought again. So you are aware of the absence of thoughts. You are aware of the presence of thoughts. This consciousness, this awareness, which is not a thought, which is free of thought, which illumines the presence of thought and the absence of thought, the presence of restlessness and the presence of peace, coming and going of restlessness, arising of peace and disappearance of peace. This one is ever in peace. It is ever present. It is present in the waking, it is present in the dream, it is present in deep sleep. It is present when you are experiencing samsara, it is present when you are experiencing happiness, misery, restfulness, restlessness. In all cases, this one is always present. It is this immortal consciousness which we are. This is the meaning of Aham Brahmasmi. Everything that is an object appears and disappears in the light of this consciousness. It is not exterior to consciousness. This entire world of experience is within consciousness, lit up by consciousness, sustained by consciousness. This is the meaning of Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. This is the meaning of Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jiva Brahmaivanapara. There is one unchanging reality, which is existence consciousness. And you are that existence consciousness, Jiva Brahmaivanapara. Jiva is none other than Brahman. Then what is this world? External world, from stars and planets to quarks and quasars to body and mind. What is all of this? All of this is a product of nature, and nature only is an appearance in consciousness. It has no existence apart from Brahman, apart from your real nature. It is an appearance. This entire universe depends on you, exists on you, in you, and has no existence apart from you. This is the ultimate conclusion. This is revealed by Vedantic inquiry, by Jnana. There, it is no longer a search for peace. Your very nature is peace. In Mandukya Upanishad, it is said, Shantam Shivam Advaitam. This Shiva nature, non-dual nature, Advaita. Advaita means other than you, the consciousness, nothing else exists. Everything that you experience, in some sense, is not apart from you, is an appearance within you. It does not exist apart from you, the awareness. And this name of this awareness is Shantam, peace itself. So the grand conclusion at the end is not that we have to look for peace outside, external world, physical body, even in the mind. I need some peace in the mind. And that young brahmachari had said to me, Shanti child. You are Shanta yourself. Your very nature is Shantam. In fact, that nature can never be changed. It can never become Ashanta. It can never become restless. It is ever at rest. And samsara is never at rest. But remember, this restless samsara is nothing more than a dream, an appearance, Jagat Mithya, within you. Once this is realized, you always realize your nature, which is peace itself. It is always available to us. So by these 4 methods, starting from the external, our activities, converting adharmic life into dharmic life, immoral life into moral life, then that moral life also into a karma yoga life, doing work for others, not for myself. I don't want anything from samsara, very important. And then mind and love is given to God. I love the Lord my God. In Bible, Jesus Christ was once asked, it's there, among all the commandments, Jewish commandments, there are actually 530 commandments. With children, we saw the movie 10 Commandments, but these are the 10 famous commandments, but they're actually in Judaic religion, there are 530 commandments. So which are the most important commandments? And Jesus said, love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy might. So love God with all your heart, all your might. And he said, love your neighbor. So the bhakti, devotion to God, and devotion and love for everybody else through that love of God. So Sri Ramakrishna says to Naren and others, Toder moddhe ami Narayan dekhi, to Narayan na dekhle toder mukh dekhte parbo na shala. So I see God in all of you. That is why I love you so much. If one day I do not see God in you, I will not even look at you rascals. So love of all beings through the love of God. And then deep meditation. Remember that Shant man mein sansar kaun dekha hai. In a peaceful mind, nobody has seen samsara. No trouble in a peaceful mind. Then the final is to realize who am I, and that we will discover is always at peace. It is peace is its very nature. So that was a wonderful, giving me this opportunity to interact with all of you. And I will end with a Shanti mantra. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Thank you so much. Take care and be safe. Namaskar. Namaskar.
Pranam Maharaj. Thank you all.